On social media, content creators do not make videos on what you want or what will give you value. They make videos on what will get them views. Here's the cold, hard truth about investing. It will not work for you if you don't already have money. Now, what I mean by that? I mean that you need money to start making money from investing. Now, let me break it down for you. People tell you, very big finance YouTubers, finance content creators, and a lot of analysts also tell you to invest your money in mutual funds, in stock markets, in crypto markets, in this and that. They tell you that if you invest 5,000 rupees right now, you will get a return of say 1 crore or 1.25 crores or 2 crores even after 30 years. Now let me break it down for you. If you're investing 5,000 rupees per month on mutual funds, you could be investing that and making at least 20x to 30x returns within 5 to 10 years. And we will come to that part later. But first of all, let's understand the money investing, the SIPs, the mutual funds, the this and that, the jargons of the financial markets. Now they tell you to do an internship on 15,000 rupees and start investing that money, start funneling that money into the stock markets, into the bond markets, into gold, and they also promise you a return of say 1.5 crores, 2 crores and even more in some cases through the stock market. What they don't tell you is that this money will be in your hands after 30 to 40 years. Now there are two factors in it. After 30 years, the actual amount of money in your hand will be at least 3 to 5x lesser than the actual amount. So if you have say 1.5 crores quote unquote investment, you will have around say 30 lakh rupees at the end of 30 years because of this big devil that we know as inflation. After inflation, your money after 30 to 40 years will be worth way less than what they are telling you. The reality of this is you will not be able to enjoy your own hard-earned money. Now, if you really think about it, why do they keep telling you this? Because first of all, this is their content. Second of all, it feels good to listen to. If I come and tell you right now that, bro, listen to this. I have this investment scheme. I will give you 1.5 crore rupees if you just give me 5,000 every month. That sounds insane, right? It is Lakshmi Chit Fund. That is the reality of it. These people are getting paid to promote their financial services or promote other people's financial services because that is what people get latched on to. On social media, content creators do not make videos on what you want or what will give you value. They make videos on what will get them views. If you really focus on this fact, telling people that they will make 1.5 crores after X number of years if they just invest 5,000 or 10,000 rupees here and there is just a form of mental masturbation. It makes you feel good. It makes you feel content that you're doing something with your life and you're actually on your way to get rich. But that is the biggest lie you will tell yourself forever. And that cannot be the way you go broke for your entire life. Now let's think about compounding, right? What is compounding? Compounding is just stackable returns. One return stacked on top of another return, stacked on top of another return, and the returns are based on what you have already invested. So all the past investments make a big corpus and that big corpus then gets returns to you. What will compounding, the principle of compounding, how will it actually work in your life? The principle of compounding actually does not really work on the S&P 500. It works on the S&M 500 as Alex Hormozi famously said so. So what is the principle here? The principle is compound yourself. Invest all the time you have, invest all the money you have, and invest all the resources you have in yourself. How do you do that? You need to follow a simple XYZ rule. What is XYZ rule? It is a rule I just came up with, right? So what is the XYZ rule? X would be your network, Y would be your skills, and Z would be the amount of money that you have with yourself. Now let's quickly look into a graph. Now let me give you the actual numbers of why compounding yourself is always better than compounding your own money. Let's look at a table to understand this simply, right? Now, for example, in the year 1, if you look at the people you know, the X quadrant, if you look at the people you know, this is your network, right? So if you know 10 people in the first year, your skills, the number of skills that you have is 1. Then the amount that you earn per month could be 20,000 rupees. Now let's look at it from the skills perspective. You have one skill. For example, it could be video editing. So you might know 10 people who know video editing, right? If you look at the earnings chart, you might do some freelance work here and there. You might be employed to some place and you are earning a moderate income of 20,000 rupees, right? And the opportunity for you to earn more is very, very low. If you look at year 2, you have developed 3 skills. You might be very good with video editing, which is your first skill. But second of all, you might have learned storytelling through video editing. One more skill to stack on top of that would be, for example, say you learned how to use social media and grow people's accounts. So you have 3 skills now, and the people you know are 20. Now you don't just have video editor friends, you have friends who are into other industries as well, which are related. For example, if you know social media, you might know founders, you might know people who are creators who are working on social media and this and that. If you really look into it, your network has expanded and so have your opportunities. If you look at it, the earning potential that you have right now is 40,000 rupees. Now, for 40,000, you might think this is also not a very big jump, but if you really look into it, it is a 2x return on your earnings before, right? So you are making 40,000 a month now. Your opportunities are medium. Why? Because earlier you used to only do video editing. Now you also know social media. So people who are already taking your services might recommend you to someone if you are very good at your job. So the opportunities that you have are on a medium level now. So they have increased slightly. If you look at year 3, on year 3, you have doubled your skill. That is the main compounding effect that you have right now. If you are stuck at video editing, you learned social media and then you went on to say do something else with it. Now, year 3, you have 6 skills. You know marketing, you know some sales, you know how to create pitches, you have some business sense now, so you can run an agency as well. And more importantly, all of those skills are stacked on top of each other. So your base skill, your core skill was video editing. You maybe learned social media with it. Now you're expert at YouTube and Instagram. So those are 4 skills. If you are very good with it, you are also good at storytelling. That is your 5th skill. And the final 6th skill would be your sales skill, for example, right? Now you are at a revenue of 1 lakh rupees, a personal income of 1 lakh rupees per month. And the people that you know are 40. Why? Because now you're connected to not just founders who want to grow their social media. Because you learned sales, now you could be connected to founders who are actively looking to sell their products or services. And that is where you can help them. This is again a skill stacking game, right? So now you are at 6 skills. You know sales, which is a very, very powerful skill, and you have stacked it on top of other skills. And now your opportunity availability. The opportunities that are available to you are at a high spectrum. Some people, if you're very, very good at your job, someone might hire you and make you a part of their own company and give you equity. Now if you own equity, that is one of the fastest and the best ways to reach wealth, right? So now your opportunities are high and you already are making 1 lakh rupees a month. You already are the wielder of 6 different skills which are stacking, and the people you know are above 40 now. So you know 40 people. What is the true meaning of 40 people? These are not the friends that you make along the way or this or that. These are actual valuable people who can get you revenue, who can get you networking, who can get you some tangible benefit in your life. They can even teach you some skill, right? So these 40 people are basically 40 open doors for you to make more money. That is the power of compounding network, right? Now you have finally completed the 3rd year and we move on to the 4th year. 4th year is where you level up the game, and the skill game is not really at play here. After 4 years, the game that you play is of networking, is of communication, this and that, but we'll go into that in some other video. For now, if you just look at the 4th year or 4 year plus, as in after 4 years, the skills that you have are at 10. So right now you know more than 10 skills. I already named a few of them. You know sales, maybe you know marketing, now you know branding as well. Now you know how to position content, how to work with creators, how to manage a team, how to build operations and systems. All of those skills then stack on top of each other and make you an even more valuable person to work with. Because you are very good with creating systems, you can do sales, you can do storytelling, you are very good at video editing, which is your core skill, and combining all of this, you get a very powerful package, a skill stacked professional. But there are not a lot of good generalists out there. What is a generalist? It is someone who can do a lot of things and can do a lot of things well, and all those things somehow tie up into one single product or one single aim or goal. For example, it could be selling a product or a service or marketing something or XYZ, right? But all those skills kind of converge to one single point, where that point is making someone else or themselves revenue, and that is how that particular professional becomes very, very high value. If you are at this stage, you are easily earning around 2 to 3 lakhs, maybe even more, because all your skills are stacked. You have more equity with your name, so that you're earning money while you're sleeping. That is basically passive income, right? Because you own equity in a product or a service, that particular thing will give you money when all the other people, all the other parts of the organization works. And the opportunity during this time is infinitely scalable, because you already know 80 people who know 80 people who know more 80 people, and this is how the compounding effect will work and will come into play in this stage of your life or your career, right? So this was the compounding effect that will actually work in your life, instead of you focusing on some weird compounding trick or some weird mutual fund. Instead of focusing on all that, if you just focus on yourself, on growing yourself, on growing your own brand, on growing your own skill stack, that will benefit you much more than anything else basically that might come your way. Because if you invest 5,000 today every single month on S&P 500, you might have say 1.5 crores at the end of 30 years. But if you religiously invest 5,000 rupees in yourself, maybe learning a new skill, maybe upgrading your setup, maybe improving your workflow, maybe having a better diet, whatever helps you be better in your own circumstances, if you religiously spend 5,000 rupees on that, it will absolutely benefit you and your life. So that was the concept of how investing will make you go broke. Now, I have given you a framework of how you can achieve the same without investing a lot in other things, without investing a lot in mutual funds, without investing a lot in crypto, but keeping your money safe by investing in yourself. Because honestly speaking, the least risk investment in this entire world is yourself, because you will never give yourself a bad return or a negative return if you invest on the right things. At the end of it, you must remember that people don't work, systems do. You need to put this particular thing in a system where you are spending 5,000 rupees or whatever amount you are investing in mutual funds. You are spending all that money into yourself, into upskilling yourself, into developing that skill stack, which will ultimately make you more money. Keep working hard, and I'll see you with the next video.